G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go video. So jumping into Go Battle League, and today I'm going to be running Machamp. So after the Machamp Community Day, I was able to get enough candy to power one up to level 50. I'm finally at a level, well, the level that requires me to power up 3 Pokemon to max. So let's go Machamp, and we're going to give it a run in the Master League. So Machamp is going to be running Counter, Cross Chop and Payback. I'm also going to be running Giratina and Mewtwo. So if you've watched any of my other videos, which I'll link to now, you'll know what they're running. So we'll jump in and get things started. So I'm actually running Machamp in the back to start with, and we'll see how we go. So we've got a Melmetal on the lead. So this is a good lead for me. But out comes Dialga, and this is why I wanted Machamp. Level 50 Machamp is just going to absolutely monster this thing. As you can see, that's a huge amount of damage right there. So for this, I'm going to shield this up because I know that there's a Melmetal in the back, and this is also going to absolutely monster the Melmetal as well. So I'm going to let the Rock Slide go. Doesn't do too much damage. Going to overfarm just a little bit and then throw the Cross Chop, and again, huge amounts of damage there. So they brought out Melmetal, which I don't know if was the wrong move. We'll see what they have in the back, but I'm assuming that there's something that they do not want to see. And so I guess they're worried about the rock moves that Machamp could possibly have. Out comes Dragonite, and this is going to be a good game. Switch into the Mewtwo, going to be able to come in and throw some moves. They don't quite take me out, which is unfortunate, and then they burn some more energy here, which is good. I'll be able to come in and farm down with my Giratina. I tried to swap in to be able to throw a charge move on the Machamp, but they did actually just Thundershock that down, which is unfortunate. We'll be able to come save back-to-back ominous wins and then throw those. So expect to get a shield for the first one and then straight into the second one, and that will be a good game. So able to take that pretty well and got the boost. So a bit late for that boost, but happy days. So pretty solid win there to kick things off with good old Machamp. So we'll jump into the next one and we get another Melmetal lead. So a couple Melmetals on the lead. So this is a good matchup for me because usually what will happen, well, lots of times they'll swap into a Dialga there, and that's why I've got my Machamp in the back, because that's going to absolutely monster those Dialgas like you saw in the first game. So this one, they're staying in. So we're going to look to farm up a little bit of extra energy again, and then this time, so throw straight Shadow Ball and then throw Ominous Wind. Unfortunately, they don't shield that up and they get to another Rock Slide, which is going to put me really low on health, and they come in and farm me down. So they make a quick sack swap and farm me down with the Gyarados. So not ideal for me, but it does mean that they no longer, well, they've lost switch advantage, and their Melmetal has absolutely no health left whatsoever. So pretty good for them to stop me getting that extra charge move off, but I'm able to counter swap into Mewtwo, and because it's so very spammy with those side strikes, as you can see, does a lot of damage very, very quickly. So do I shield up here? I am going to shield this up, and it is just the Aqua Tail, so I was expecting it to be the Crunch. So they've swapped into trying to catch a charge move on the Melmetal, but I do swap in. Gyarados comes out. It's going to be an Aqua Tail. Going to do a reasonable amount of damage, but not too much, as you can see. And it's going to let me charge up some extra energy. Out comes their own Mewtwo. Out comes their own Machamp. And this is GG's. I've got a Psy Strike saved on the Mewtwo. So as soon as my switch clock is up, I'm going to be able to swap that out and come in and throw that Psy Strike straight away, and there it is. My switch clock is up, and that's good game. So it's just a matter of waiting that down. So regardless, that was game over as soon as that Machamp came out, and they used their shield because Mewtwo is going to win switch advantage. So on this one, we've got Excadrill on the lead, which is not too bad. Again, another one that I would really like my Machamp matched up against, but unfortunately they're deciding not to swap out. So I'm going to charge up a little bit of extra energy, go the Ominous Wind. Unfortunately, they called my bait there, which is really unfortunate. So throw the Drill Run, and they're going to get to... I'm going to be able to get to another Ominous Wind, and let's see if they want to shield up and take switch here. They do want to shield up and take switch. Unfortunately, they are going to be able to farm me down. So I'm going to come out with Mewtwo here, shield this up, and the reason for that is because I know they're going to dump energy, and this I can get a really, well, a reasonable farm on. Machamp, I wouldn't have got a farm at all, but for this one I can... just get a farm up. I'm going to go straight for the Focus Blast here. Let's see if they want to... oh, and they no-shield the Focus Blast. Out comes the Metagross. Really good for me. This is only going to be doing neutral damage because of the Steel and Psychic typing, but able to do a reasonable bit of damage there. So should have... saved up and thrown the payback there, but I was expecting to grab a shield, so didn't want to have that shielded, so they shield this one up, which is good for me. And then able to get to the move. Let's see if their Meteor Mash is enough, and unfortunately their Meteor Mash is enough to take me out, but it's able to get to another Psy Strike and take this thing down. So good game right there, pretty comfortable in the end. So just able to get to that Meteor Mash before I could get to my Cross Chop, but able to take it out with the Mewtwo. So we'll jump into the next one, and another Melmetal, and the standard swap into the Dialga. So out comes my Machamp, and we all know how this goes. Let's see if they want to shield this up. They do not, and unfortunately they have 1 HP and are able to get the Iron Head off, so that burns one of my shields, and we'll see what comes out. So out comes a Giratina here, and this is where I'm just going to go straight for payback and see what they want to do. So payback comes through, and they don't shield the payback, so that's looking really rough for them, and I'm able to get to another Cross Chop. They're storing up a lot of energy there, and I've had to burn one of their shields, which is absolutely beautiful. So here I'm actually going to come out with Mewtwo and just let this go, because I know my win condition is Giratina here, so I'm going to shield this one up. So Giratina, able to shield that up, and then going to just farm down, and then out comes Melmetal here, and going to be able to throw the Shadow Ball and see what they want to do. So no shielding there, and out comes the Rock Slide, going to be able to get to the Ominous Wind. We should pick up their shield here. Still not picking up a shield, which is interesting, which means I'm pretty much now going to have to commit to the farm down. So now just commit to the farm down and get that game. So I'm not really sure what... I mean, I guess it made no difference. If they had have shielded one of those up, I would have thrown another one. It was that they didn't shield the correct one, which was the Shadow Ball, so it was able to get away with it. So into the next one. So they have an Abomasnow? No, they have a Mamoswine on the lead. I swap into my Mewtwo and they counter into the Giratina. So charge up enough that they think I've got the Shadow Ball, and then able to grab a shield. So able to charge into the next one. Unfortunately, they get to theirs as well, so I'm not able to get to a third. But I let that go. So for this one, I'm going to have to let this count down a little bit, and then swap into my own Giratina. They swap out, so make an aggressive swap here into the Mamoswine, and I'm going to actually shield that up. So I instantly swap into my Machamp here, and then going to throw the Cross Chop. So Cross Chop does enough to take it out. All shields are down, so now it's a race to see if I can get to... it's a race to see if I can get to my payback. They throw the Ominous Wind, so that's looking really good for me. I'm able to get to the payback, so this is the absolute dream of a move here. Out comes Mewtwo, Mewtwo. Out comes Dialga here, and able to get to another Cross Chop, and then instantly swap into my Giratina because I do not want them to get any extra farm. Going to be able to throw the Shadow Ball, and that's going to be enough to take that game. So really good game there. So Payback coming in really handy there, and yeah, able to do a lot of damage to their Giratina. So on this one we've got Kyogre on the lead, and they swap into a Giratina, get to the Ominous Wind, and so I should have an energy advantage because they had to swap, so I should have at least a 1 energy advantage. They get to another charge move, it's another Ominous Wind, so then able to get to my next Ominous Wind. We'll throw it up, and I've shielded that as well. So looking to get to another one, and they beat me to it. So not only do I not have an energy advantage, but I'm a whole charge move behind them. Absolutely ridiculous. So get to my Ominous Wind, throw that, and then I'm just going to swap out and come in with the Mewtwo to get a farm up, and able to do so. And the reason to do that is because they weren't going to get to another Ominous Wind, and I needed to get energy on this Mewtwo to be able to take out Kyogre without it getting to a Surf. Its waterfalls and Surf damage are just absolutely massive. Out comes the Dialga, and absolutely perfect for me. Able to swap into my Machamp, and at that point they say good game, and off they go. So really good game there, and getting that extra farm, even though it was not doing too well for me. I have Mewtwo matched up with Giratina. Getting that extra farm really allowed me to throw those charge moves and take out the Kyogre. So into this one, Dragonite on the lead, swap into Mewtwo, and they counter with their own. So not looking great for me. But thankfully I am able to bait a shield. Let's see if they've got the... No. So they throw the Psy Strike, which is really unfortunate, and they get to another charge move. Going to have to let this go. And it is the Shadow Ball that is absolutely going to one-shot me. So not looking ideal here. And going to shield up again if it is the Shadow Ball, and unfortunately it is the Psy Strike, so not looking good, but able to completely farm down. So do have a lot of energy here. Dragonite comes back out, and then going to throw the Ominous Wind. Unfortunately they didn't go for the bait, and I'm going to swap into my Machamp, and I do think that they were just waiting for the swap out and didn't actually look to see what was coming in, because there is no way anybody is going to swap into a Melmetal into a Machamp, so that's really not looking good for them. So I'm actually going to just completely farm that down, and unfortunately wasn't able to throw my Cross Chop first. I'm going to throw my Cross Chop now, and I hopefully will be able to get this shield. So let's see if I'm able to get that shield. So got the last shield, because again they're worried about the rock move, so that's absolutely perfect for me. Not quite able to get to my Shadow Ball. Let's hope it's just a Dragon Claw and not a Outrage. It is the Dragon Claw. Able to get to my Shadow Ball, and that's enough to take it out. So that blind swap into Melmetal, really not looking good for them. So I assume they thought with the composition of Giratina, Mewtwo, that there was a Dialga in the back, so they just straight out blind swapped without waiting to see what actually came out. So it worked out very, very nicely for me there. So we'll jump into the next one, and again another Melmetal. So lots of steals on the lead here. I'm going to again overfarm just a little bit and then throw the Shadow Ball. They decided not to shield that up, which is fine with me. Going to let this one go. Going to be the Rock Slide coming through, and again it doesn't do too much damage. Unfortunately they had back-to-back Rock Slides, and they're able to get to their Rock Slide before me, and for this one I'm going to undercharge, but as you will now see, I undercharged far too much, and it means that they're actually going to get to another charge move before I'm able to get them down. So that was really bad from me, and what I needed to do is just an extra fraction more charge on that. So going to go straight into the Shadow Ball, and this time I grab a shield. So looking to take this out. Unfortunately not able to get to another charge move, but it's okay. So going to come out with Mewtwo here, and thinking about whether I shield or not. Throw up the shield, and it is the Fire Punch bait, which is not ideal, but I mean, what are you going to do? So throw the Psy Strike, and then Going to shield this one up again and expect this one to be an earthquake, and it is. So that's really good for me. And I'm actually going to swap out into my Machamp here to counter the Mamoswine, and Avalanche, as you can see, does a whole lot of damage, but I'm going to overfarm just a fraction here and see what they want to do. So I get their last shield, which works out perfectly for me, and able to get to the next cross chop, which is going to be enough to take them out. So looking really good here. Look to farm this completely down, and able to do so. They threw energy just before they left, so able to get that win pretty comfortably in the end. So really good games there. So I'm going to jump into the next lot, and because I've been getting a lot of steel on the lead, I'm going to swap Machamp into the lead, and let's hope we don't hit those Mewtwo leads. So we'll jump into these games and see what we get. So Machamp on the lead now, running that payback move. As you can see, works out really nicely on some of the Ghost and, well, Mewtwo if I ever run it. And here we go, we've got Dialga on the lead, so that's absolutely perfect for me. So they swap out there and want to catch a charge move. I do not throw the charge move, but I will instantly counter swap into my own Giratina here, and the reason for that is because it's going to have no play against Dialga, so let's burn it now. Throw the Ominous Wind, and for them, no boost for either of us, so we'll see what they want to throw this time. So I've got both of my shields here. Let's see if I can get both of theirs. My own Ominous Wind coming through. Let's see what happens. So get the shield, and get the boost. So that means I'm instantly going for this charge move because, well, I'm boosted. And I've got a second boost. That's absolutely massive. Let's see what they want to do here. They're going to throw energy because they have to. This thing is absolutely going to monster them. They undercharge, which is just ridiculous. And I'm actually at a Shadow Ball and through the Ominous Wind, so that's a really big mistake there. So for this one, I'm going to overfarm just a little bit and throw my energy, and then out comes the Dialga, and I'm going to be able to take this game. They know that boost was very helpful for me, but I did have my alignment right, so should have been able to take that game without a boost anyway. So able to take that match, and we'll see what we get on the next one. So Machamp on the lead into Snorlax. So not Steel, but you gotta love to see it. So out comes their own Mewtwo here, which is not too bad for me. They did get to this move fairly quickly, and it is the Shadow Ball. So I do want to shield that up. And so really good shield there. I'm going to throw the Ominous Wind, so bait the Shadow Ball, and we'll see what they want to do. So for this one, not going to shield. So counting those moves, it should only be a Side Strike. Unfortunately, clearly I counted wrong. Out comes another Shadow Ball. So we'll see what they want to do. So they've decided to shield to let that go, and we both faint at the same time. So that Shadow Ball was absolutely massive for them. I'm up a shield, so I wait to see what comes out, and out comes their own Mewtwo. Out comes their own Machamp, so I'm able to swap in my Mewtwo for that. They swap into their Snorlax, obviously, and then I swap into my own Machamp. So got the alignment there because able to watch that top right hand corner and get the correct alignment, so able to take that game as well. And then it turns out I'm in the Kanto Cup, so that was obviously 9 o'clock yesterday, but able to take those games. So Machamp at level 50, very nice. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully it was useful for someone, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.